Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa, an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for the 2024 season, and this is Believe in Colts.
Welcome back, Colts Nation. I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Believe in Colts, and today we are going to discuss, the upcoming Week 8 matchup between the Colts and the Titans. Now, don't let the Titans' horrible season get you derailed. Don't let the fact that the Indianapolis Colts utterly obliterated them the first time that they played them get you thinking that this is going to be an easy game. This is a divisional game, and you must absolutely keep your eyes and your center completely focused, all right? Don't let that 14-point win margin on the betting boards over there on FanDuel let you think that the Colts are just going to walk in, beat the holy snot out of them, and then come home and be like, all right, we're good. We'll just go to the next team. Where's Pittsburgh? No, that you can't. All right, we may think that in the back of our heads, and we're hoping for a game like that. I get that. But the Indianapolis Colts absolutely cannot overlook this divisional opponent because too many times have we seen the Indianapolis Colts overlook somebody, play down to a weaker team, and walk away with a loss. Now, that has not been this year's Indianapolis Colts. Now that we could go ahead and get that out of the way. For the most part, the Indianapolis Colts have not been playing down to their competition. They have walked in and took care of business, and they played their best on every single snap of every single down until they walk into the fourth quarter or even third quarter at times, like last week versus the Chargers, when they're like, we got this pretty well in hand, at least defensively, and they start playing soft zone and prevent and things of that to try not to lose. It's weird. The Chargers game was very weird. As soon as the second half started versus the Chargers, the Colts defense went into not to lose mode, whereas the offense was continuing to play to win. All right. And what a great idea. What a great idea when it comes to a situation like that, right? Defense was able to keep the Chargers from scoring fast. Granted, they were giving away everything, but they made them eat clock, and that was the whole deal. And the game never even got close. Never was within 14 points. But I digress. Now we're getting into the Titans. Now, let's look at the Titans injury report, and it's going to be very difficult to keep that same focus when you're looking at their injury report because let's just say, all right, offensive lineman Blake Hans not practicing yet this week. All right. Sebastian Joseph Day, their defensive end, has been limited all week. Wide receiver Bryce Oliver has not practiced all week with a knee injury. Calvin Ridley has a hamstring, not been playing. Jeff Simmons, hamstring, not been practicing. L'Jarius Sneed has a quad, not been practicing. All right. It's just, and then Xavier Woods, the safety, has an ankle. He's been limited. That's a lot. All right. To go with the fact that they're already, not exactly in the best of terms when it comes to playing very well in the league, especially offensively. Now, if you want to flip to it on the other side with the Indianapolis Colts, they also have some injuries that you have to take care of, right? Ebukam has not been practicing. Tyquan Lewis hasn't been practicing. So that's a little bit worrisome on the defensive end side of things. But, we still have that. That's why the Colts have a lot of depth. All right. That's why the Colts have lots and lots of depth across that defensive line. We should see plenty of pressure. Speaking of pressure, let's talk about the Colts defensive line for just one moment, okay? Because the Indianapolis, so far this season, through 7 games, oh my goodness, they're 4th in the NFL in quarterback pressure rate. 4th, 26.5%. 6th, oh no, that's total pressures. Sorry. They have 81 total pressures, which is 4th in the NFL. 6th in pressure percentage at 26.5. 7th, they're 7th in sacks with 19. And you know what team? How many teams have more quarterback knockdowns than the Indianapolis Colts? None. You heard me. The Indianapolis Colts lead the NFL in quarterback knockdowns with 33. Yes. The Colts are getting there. They're just not getting the finish. And I can tell you, and that's been the case ever since. I mean, all year the Colts have been like that because their cornerbacks have been hurt and limited and not been able to come in and be able to hold pressures or hold down their guys for longer than 2 seconds. Not even up to 2.5 seconds, the cornerbacks have not been able to hold their guys. And if they can do that, great. That means our pressures and our knockdowns gets turned into sacks rather than just pressure rate. And that's what we really want, right? Not just against the Titans, but against every team in the NFL. Now, hopefully we get a few guys back like Ward, right, from IR, from that concussion. Hopefully Jalen Jones is back practicing right now. He's been limited, but he's been practicing this week. So that's a good sign. Whether or not we have him for the Titans, I don't know. Preferably, I don't care if he plays against the Titans. Just get him back in the workload so he can play the week after, right? That's the way if he's needed. If they feel like that he brings a better product to the field than what's currently on the field. But that's not the only thing I want to talk about. The Indianapolis Colts defense, headed, of course, as everybody knows, by new defensive coordinator from the Cincinnati Bengals, Lou Anarumo. And his blitz percentage is not as high as people thought. His man coverage is not as high as people thought. He does play man more than what Gus Bradley does. He does blitz more than what Gus Bradley does. But it's not significant in the point of like their top 10 in the NFL in both of them. All right. He still plays majority cover 2 zone defense. He plays, I think, 21% of the time man coverage. And his blitz percentage is right around 16th in the NFL. So that's actually, after last week, I believe it dropped to 21st in the NFL. So he's not blitzing as much. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he's dropping guys into coverage to help cover for the fact that the secondary has been banged up all year. However, let's look at third downs because I've always been of the opinion on 3rd and long, you should blitz more, right? But that's not Lou Anarumo's recipe for success. And the more I think about it, the more I understand it. He blitzes more on 3rd and short and 3rd and medium than he does on 3rd and long. 3rd and short, he blitzes 55.6% of the time. 3rd and medium is 61.1% of the time. And if you're looking at 3rd and long, only 31% of the time. I guess that's because he figures that, it takes a little bit. They're definitely passing, but he wants to kind of, he has a good feel that the defensive line is going to get pressure no matter what. They just need a little bit of time. So they drop more guys into coverage in hoping that would happen. All right. That's the only thought that I can think of is why those percentage numbers are sitting the way they are. Now, let's look at the Titans right now. I'm a little worried about them overall because Cam Ward does get out of the pocket. Against the Colts, he got out of the pocket a lot the first time. Granted, we blew the doors off of them. They did not score till the fourth quarter, right? When we went into prevent defense, it was all garbage time stats, basically, right? But he still ran the ball well against us. And right now, you're looking at what's he going to do? They're definitely not going to put Brandon Allen in him. They're going to keep Cam Ward in the game because he was their number 1 overall pick. And he's had flashes of being a very good football player. And Tony Pollard did not play very well against the Colts the first time we played against them. Tajay Spears played a little bit better. The run defense for the Indianapolis Colts has been suspect at times, especially against the Titans early in that game, but then they kind of shored up, right? And got a little bit better. Right now, the Colts are averaging, giving up about 4.2 yards per carry, which is about middle of the pack in the NFL. So as long as they can stop the run somewhat and don't allow 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 on a constant basis, I feel like the Colts have a real shot at doing what they need to do in this game. Offensively, guys, I don't see a shot in hell that this defense can stop the Colts offense. I am trying my darndest to look at this defense with the injuries that they have and go, yeah, they could pull this off. Okay, so they got Amani Hooker at safety, right? Darrell Baker Jr. at corner. You heard me right. Darrell Baker Jr. Wow. This is not a good situation. I feel like the Colts should have no problem in this game. This should be one of those games where Jonathan Taylor gets the ball 25 to 30 times running it. This is one of those games where Jonathan Taylor should have 200 yards plus another hat trick. At least. This is one of those games where even though Jonathan Taylor is leading the NFL in yardage and in touchdowns, he should extend that lead after this game. Especially if the Colts offensive line continues to fire off the ball the way they have been. But they got to keep their nose to the grindstone and continue doing it and play to their best ability. Now, a lot of you might think, well, maybe we shouldn't play him all the time, right? Maybe we should take some of those snaps away from him and give him to some backups, right? Some of the wide receivers that we don't want to get injured, maybe Jonathan Taylor, because we don't want to run him into the ground against a weaker team. Absolutely not. You got to keep every player on this field at least for half the game. At least for half the game. To keep them in a rhythm week in and week out. Don't give them an extra bye week because that could throw you off your rhythm. You got to let them go out there and you got to let them play and you got to let them play hard. And I know there's going to be Titans fans out there that even the fact that I brought up we should play the Titans with our backups. I don't believe in that, but that is utterly disrespectful to that Titans team. And I'm sorry for having to say that, but I mean, that is a thought process that has kind of slipped in my head for just a half a second. And I'm sure it has slipped into the head of a few Colts fans out there too, right? But we're absolutely not going to do that. We got to play, and we got to play to win every single game because right now it's about playoff seeding. I know no one has actually made the playoffs yet. No one's locked in a playoff. But right now, the Colts, that's what they're looking for. They're wanting, first, you got to win the division. And then second, it's seeding in the playoffs. Okay. And to win the division, you got to win divisional games. And this is a divisional game. So this is a must win for the Indianapolis Colts. So we're not playing backups to start the game or even in the second quarter. I mean, unless we're up 40, unless we score like 6 touchdowns in the first quarter, then I can possibly see it. I doubt that's going to happen though. Not with running, unless Jonathan Taylor just every time he hands the ball just rips it straight to the end zone. But these are professional football players, okay, by the Titans, even though they are backups and backups to backups, they're still professional football players, and they're still professionally coached. So don't think that just because this was already one of, if not the worst team in the NFL, and now they're playing with backups of backups, that they're just a cakewalk team. Okay, we got to actually go out there and finish the business, and I'm absolutely sure that Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor and Alec Pierce and Tyler Warren and Quentin Nelson and that offensive line are all thinking that themselves as well. Okay. I want to give a quick shout out to Jeff Simmons. I hope you get healthy. All right. Because outside of Defoe, you're my second favorite defensive tackle in football. All right. You are a stud. And I hope you play well, just not against the Colts. There, I said it. All right. Now, let's go ahead and break down how I feel like this game could end up. I've already said I feel like Jonathan Taylor could have damn near the career game versus in this game. Now, the Titans generally, are known for a good defense, but they didn't show it against us the first time we played them, and they're missing key superstars. All right. Coming into this one, it looks like I could see Jonathan Taylor, like I said, rushing for over 200 yards, getting at least 3 touchdowns. I could see the Indianapolis Colts being ahead by 30 points well before the fourth quarter and pulling their starters, or at least going into that soft zone like they did against the Chargers, going into that soft prevent zone, right? And allowing easy completions underneath, tackling and killing clock. Because it doesn't matter if they win 56-3 or if they win 24-23. A win is a win. Now, granted, it looks good. It makes you feel better when a team rolls another team. But at the end of the day, it's all what's on the books, right? They don't go into playoff seeding or divisional seeding and go, well, this team rolled this team, and this team was tight against this team, so, maybe we should go ahead and put them a little higher because they rolled this. It doesn't happen like that. A W is a W. But granted, even players feel good walking out of a game when they've rolled another team. And I feel like this is another one of those games that it absolutely could. I looked at the NFL.com's predictions, and I was absolutely shocked. MJD even had the Colts rolling the Titans in this game. I don't see how you can pick against them unless you're trying to make $1 billion off of a 30-cent wager. Okay? Because that's how wide this is right now when it comes to sports betting on this game. I would say that the Indianapolis Colts should win this game. I've got a 95% chance that the Colts win this game. And I feel like the final score should be, I hate doing this, 44-17. I think the Titans get some yardage and some points in garbage time. Because that seems to be how the Colts play once they have a lead. Guys, thanks for watching. If you're listening to this to an audio podcast, please rate and review the podcast. Help get this out to more people. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. And please share this video to your favorite social media and friends and family. And yes, I've been wearing a blanket this whole time. It's a little chilly. And until next time, as usual, go Colts.
Do you believe?